Welcome to another video update for BTTFParts.com. This time we're going to be talking about the Flux boxes and bands and brackets and everything that goes around the film car. This is a box that was molded from a Part 3 original. Went ahead and remastered this and molded in the plates. Also molded in a plug master for the Richardson plug using an authentic top plate, the bracket that holds it. This was a real fun part. We also made the back boxes, and in this case I made a casting of the Richardson plug, but I can take that off and put the real one on. Also molded in the Heiko fitting that goes to hold the wire. This is the bracket that holds it on the back of the car and has a clearance for the tailpipe, so we can clear that. This is the wormhole emitter. This is the first wormhole emitter I made. It's a casting off a master that I built probably 4 years ago. This is the support bar, one piece. Now since upgraded this to a casting from a screen used part, which I can show you a little later. This is the rubber bracket that I've shown in an earlier video. This is flexible cast urethane, about a Shore 60 hardness I believe, but plenty flexible for the tubing that will fit in. This is a 1/2 inch aluminum conduit. When you use the 1/2 inch conduit, it gives you an outer diameter of about 3/4 of an inch. It fits right into the bracket like so. And you can see the troughs in the brackets for the EL wire, which will be the lighting. We'll show that to you a little bit later. On top of all that goes this stainless steel mesh that's nice and perforated. It's the same hole pattern that they used on the film cars. Next up, I'll show you this in place and finished. Here's the top boxes on the car, already painted up with the screws and the aluminum plates. And here you can see the EL wire. The EL wire is actually like 3 or 5 millimeters, but we've sheathed it in this polypropylene tubing, and it's held into the brackets with little nylon clips and screws, and a little bit of super glue too to lock the nylon and the polypropylene together. The beauty of this polypropylene is it's just rigid enough to keep its shape for the radiuses and mimics the neon that you see for the car. One key to the aluminum tubes is this seam right here, which allows you to keep from having to worry about having multiple directions and bends. You can see the tightness and the curves of the radiuses here, and that really helps that seam. This is a support tab that if you watch closely on the film, you can see these tabs. They're actually originally welded in that go over the brackets and will help to secure the wire mesh. Originally they were welded on both sides and welded into the tubing, so the whole tubing system would come off in one piece. That's why the brackets are flexible, so it would all come off, then can access the neon. Here's the front end of the car, and I did the brackets just a little bit differently here. They're actually bent and screwed into the tubes. And the reason I did this here is because I could access it easier from the bottom and the top, because the bumper dives away from the tubes once you get past the sides. You can see it screwed into the top here. Here you can see the polypropylene tube come around the corner, and then also a corner bracket which will help to keep the wire mesh in place like you'll see here. Now we look at the mesh, you can see the brackets right behind the clips. As we carry along, you can see the EL wire through the mesh. At this point, I hadn't cleaned the mesh. I needed to. It still had a protective coating on it, just an oil, to keep it from getting all torn up. There you can really see the bracket really good. Looking at the top, we'll carry on down. And now those little brackets are actually screwed into the rubber brackets in the middle via this black screw right dead center. You can zoom in real tight and we'll show you that. Carry on around, you can see it follows the contours and the shape. There's another seam. And you can see how that earlier seam's been covered up by the clips. We carry on around the car. The EL wire is a great thing. Now we'll show you that a little bit. Some shots of that being installed and how it lights up. It's really hard to videotape this, so I'm just going to show you some still pictures here coming up. This is going to be the front. This is during installation, before we put on the mesh. You turn every light off. You turn the lights off, it looks great, but during the daylight you can't see it, and really kind of dusky, dark. doesn't show it very well. This is the back. Another shot at both sides installed and lit up. Really reflects nice on the stainless. Another shot, and then finally a really good one where it's really nice and bright. There you go.